The Terracotta warriors was found accidentally. Originally ancient China, like 3,000 years ago. They believed the afterlife.
For years, the Terracotta Army stood as a quiet wonder, a breathtaking show of power, history, and mystery. But in 2025, that silence was broken.
It contains more than 6,000 terracotta warriors and horses. The unearthing of an enormous army of terracotta warriors, the likes of which had never been seen before, shocked China and the whole world.
With the rise of artificial intelligence and amazing 3D scanning, secrets long buried under the soil of Xi'an were finally brought to light. What experts found wasn't just a big tomb, it was something far darker. Strange marks, lifelike faces with scary expressions, rumors of forbidden rituals and rivers of mercury, patterns too perfect to be human. What exactly was this army protecting or hiding? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. AI finally solved the Terracotta Army mystery. Back in 1974, something amazing happened in a small village near Xi'an in China. A group of farmers were digging for water during a very bad drought. One of them, named Yang Jifa, was just hoping to find a well. But instead, he and his brothers found something strange: pieces of metal and the head of a clay soldier. At first, they didn't know what it was, but soon it became clear that this was a very important discovery. They had found part of what is now known as the Terracotta Army. That discovery led to the finding of thousands of life-sized clay soldiers buried near the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. These clay figures were not all the same. Each one had a different face, hairstyle, body shape, and clothes. Some had mustaches, others didn't. Some looked young, some old. They were standing in rows like real soldiers in an army. There were also clay horses and chariots. Experts believe these were made to guard the emperor in the afterlife. Qin Shi Huang's tomb is under a big hill and hasn't been opened yet. Old records say it was built to look like the emperor's palace and kingdom. Over 700,000 people worked on building the tomb. These workers were builders, artists, and even prisoners. Inside there were rooms, towers, fake rivers made of mercury, and stars painted on the ceiling using shiny stones. To keep outsiders out, the tomb was even equipped with traps, such as poison pits and concealed crossbows. The main tomb will not be opened by the Chinese authorities. In addition to the high quantities of mercury in the ground, they are concerned about causing damage to it. Therefore, the areas surrounding it, notably the pits where the soldiers were discovered, have been the focus of archaeologists' attention. People believe that the greatest secrets had already been discovered for a long time. However, that changed in 2025 when experts examined historical data and documents from the site using artificial intelligence, AI. AI helped find new clues and patterns that people had missed before. These discoveries changed the way people saw the Terracotta Army and the emperor's tomb. One big thing AI found was that the soldiers might not have been just for protection. They could have been part of a bigger plan that included fear, control, and secret rituals. AI also helped bring back old stories that some experts had ignored. These stories said that people like concubines who couldn't have children and loyal workers were buried alive with the emperor so they could serve him even after death. Another shocking detail was the design of the soldiers. Their weapons had a special coating that kept them from rusting for over 2,000 years. Modern scientists were amazed because this kind of technology wasn't supposed to exist back then. In early 2025, while digging in Pit 2, experts found a very rare general statue, only the 10th one ever found. This general looked taller, stronger, and wore much more detailed armor than the others. His face showed power, and he stood like someone who gave orders. But that wasn't all. Nearby, they also found clay musicians and dancers. These kinds of statues had never been found in that area before. This showed that Qin Shi Huang didn't just want soldiers with him in the afterlife. He wanted music, entertainment, and a full court, just like he had when he was alive. This new discovery proved that the emperor had planned for everything, even in death. Thanks to AI, more secrets are being found without opening the tomb. The machine helped people see the site in a new way by studying old clues and matching them with what was buried underground. It showed that the Terracotta Army was just one part of a much bigger and more mysterious world, built by a ruler who didn't want to be forgotten. Even today, Qin Shi Huang's tomb remains closed. But new tools like AI are helping us slowly understand what's hidden inside. His dream of ruling forever might not have worked the way he hoped, but the world is still learning about him over 2,000 years later. What if the Terracotta Army wasn't just a burial guard? What if new technology uncovered something far more unsettling buried beneath the surface? Let's find out. AI uncovers Terracotta Army's disturbing truths. The Terracotta Army has always surprised people all over the world. These human-looking clay soldiers have been studied by experts for years, but a new detail found made with the help of artificial intelligence has shocked everyone. Using AI, scientists found something very odd. The AI was able to pick up tiny details that humans missed for years. This made researchers believe that these figures were not just made to scare enemies or protect the emperor. They might have been made to represent real people from history. That makes the whole discovery more personal and unsettling. One of the most disturbing things found by the AI was how human the figures seemed. Their expressions were too real, too detailed. The eyes, the way the lips were shaped, and even the slight wrinkles gave the statues an almost living look. People now wonder if these statues were modeled after real soldiers. If true, it means these men might have been copied exactly into clay, making it feel more like a ritual or a tribute, but also a bit creepy. The purpose of the Terracotta Army is believed to be protection. Emperor Qin Shi Huang was scared of death. He wanted to live forever. But since that was impossible, he built a huge underground world where he could rule even after dying. The clay soldiers were placed around his tomb to guard him in the afterlife, like a ghost army. Emperor Qin's wish to live forever went beyond just statues. His tomb was said to have rivers of mercury, built to look like real flowing water. Mercury was believed to give eternal life. But it is also very dangerous. The high mercury levels in the area prove that the stories might be true. He may have really built fake rivers filled with mercury under his tomb. Another part of the ritual was how the soldiers were placed. Each one was standing in a special position, as if ready for battle. Horses, weapons, and even musicians were buried with them. It looked like a full army frozen in time, made to follow the emperor into the next world. The arrangement was more than just for show. It was a carefully planned spiritual ceremony. The new findings have raised many questions. If these clay figures are based on real people, what happened to those people? Were they forced to stand for the clay parts? Did they volunteer? Or were they prisoners? And if mercury rivers were really created, what kind of dangers were the workers exposed to? AI has helped us see the Terracotta Army in a new way. It showed us how far Emperor Qin was willing to go to become immortal. It also showed us the deep fear of death that ruled his actions. His obsession made him build a city of the dead, filled with statues that might have been based on real people. The Terracotta Army is no longer just a group of clay soldiers. It is now a surprise filled with secrets about power, fear, life, and death. And with AI helping out, who knows what else we might learn about this silent army guarding a king who wanted to live forever. If the Terracotta Army already held such strange secrets on the surface, what deeper truths might new technology reveal under the ground? Stay tuned for more. Uncovering the Past. How AI brought the Terracotta Army's secrets to light. In recent years, the Terracotta Army has become even more fascinating because of new technology. Experts used advanced tools like 3D scanning and artificial intelligence to learn more about the ancient figures buried in China. These tools helped researchers see things they couldn't before, details hidden beneath the surface of the clay or deep underground. With 3D scanning, every statue could be carefully studied, and AI helped compare those details quickly across thousands of figures. This process brought out secrets that had been hidden for over 2,000 years. One big discovery was about how these soldiers were built. AI helped figure out that the heads and bodies were made in parts, then carefully put together. Each part was labeled with stamps showing which workshop made it. This tells us the army was made using a smart system, like an assembly line, showing just how advanced the workers were for their time. It also proved how serious the emperor was about this project. It wasn't rushed, it was carefully planned and controlled. AI also helped uncover information about the materials used. Many of the figures were once brightly painted in reds, blues, and greens. Over time, the colors faded or disappeared because of exposure to air and light. But using scanning tools, scientists found tiny bits of color still left in the clay. These colors were digitally restored to show how colorful the army must have looked when it was first created. This work helped historians better understand the culture and beliefs of the time. Preserving the Terracotta Army has become a big job. The figures are very old, and when they're dug up, they can fall apart quickly if not handled with care. So now, teams are using the information from AI and 3D scans to decide which figures should be left underground until better ways to protect them are found. This helps avoid damage and keeps the army safe for future study. Conservationists are working slowly and carefully so these treasures can last for many more years. This technology has changed how archaeology works. In the past, digging things up often meant destroying part of them. Now, with 3D scans and AI, archaeologists can study sites without damaging anything. This has opened the door for more discoveries without the risk of loss. The work done on the Terracotta Army has shown the world that ancient history can be studied in new, exciting ways. It's helping experts around the globe learn more about old cultures while protecting them at the same time. The broader impact of this work is huge. It proves that old sites still have secrets, and with the right tools, we can find them. It also shows that blending history with technology can lead to amazing breakthroughs. The Terracotta Army was already one of the world's most important discoveries, but now, thanks to AI and 3D scanning, we are seeing it in a completely new light. The story of the clay soldiers continues to grow, as science helps uncover what time tried to hide. If the terracotta warriors themselves held secrets in their lifelike forms and mysterious construction, what hidden messages might lie in the markings carved into their very armor? Let's learn more. The first clues and the growing mystery. It is important to understand that the Terracotta Army, one of the most famous archaeological finds of the 20th century, has always amazed researchers and historians. At first, people saw it as a powerful sign of the emperor's rule and a beautiful example of funeral art. But as time has passed and new studies have been done, something more mysterious has started to come to light. Among the life-sized clay warriors, there are strange symbols, small markings that some experts now believe could mean something darker. These signs might be clues to the real purpose and spiritual meaning behind the creation of this giant clay army. It is also worth noting that in the early years after the Terracotta Army was found in 1974, archaeologists mostly looked at the size and beauty of the figures. Thousands of clay soldiers stood in rows, each one made with great care and detail, not far from the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. As the work to fix and clean the statues continued, some people started to see small marks on some of them. These marks were found on different parts like the neck, arms, legs, or even inside the hollow parts of the statues. At first, many thought these were just labels or notes left by the people who made them, maybe to keep track of which workshop made what. Because everyone was focused on how the soldiers looked, not many paid attention to the tiny markings. Over time, though, as more warriors were brought out from the ground and cleaned up, experts saw more and more of these marks. They started to show up in places that would have been hard to reach or even see, deep inside joints or on the insides of the statues. These were places that no one would have looked at, not even when the army was first buried. What made this more confusing was that the markings were not all the same. There wasn't a clear system or style. Some seemed quickly scratched, while others looked carefully carved. In some parts of the site, there were lots of marks grouped together, especially in certain pits or on certain types of soldiers. Because of this, some experts began to wonder if the marks meant more than just workshop labels. Maybe they had a deeper or even religious meaning. As more and more people became interested in these marks, different ideas started to come out. A few of these ideas were never written down officially because they were unusual or too hard to prove. But that didn't stop people from thinking about them. Some experts began to say that maybe the symbols were not just regular marks. Maybe they were spiritual signs or magical words. One idea was that these were spells meant to trap the spirits of the dead soldiers inside the clay bodies. Another idea said that the marks were used to stop ghosts or restless souls from coming back. A third theory said that the marks were part of a big spiritual design, a kind of map or energy pattern to protect or guide the emperor after he died. Because some of these ideas were very sensitive and might go against what officials wanted people to believe, they were mostly shared quietly between researchers. To make things even more mysterious, stories started to spread about strange events that stopped research from going forward. There were reports, though not proven, about teams that had to stop their work because people got sick or felt very strange. If the strange inscriptions on the warriors raised so many questions, what deeper truths did the advanced technology and AI finally uncover when they dug even further? Let's delve deeper. A breakthrough with technology and a chilling discovery. A big change happened when modern tools were brought in around the late 2010 and early 2020. Scientists started using special scanning methods like 3D mapping, infrared cameras, and multispectral imaging to study the statues without touching them. These new tools helped researchers find marks that were too faded to see with the eye, or were hidden under paint or inside the clay. What they found surprised everyone. The marks were far more common and much more detailed than anyone had guessed. Some groups of soldiers seemed to have marks that formed patterns. Since there were so many marks and no one really knew what they meant, researchers decided to get help from artificial intelligence. Teams from top Chinese and international universities used computers that could learn. They trained the AI to read old Chinese writing, strange symbols, and ancient signs. The AI didn't just find matches for letters, it started to see bigger connections. It saw that the marks were different, depending on where the statue was, what kind of soldier it was, or even how the statue was standing. Some marks showed up only in certain areas or formations. This told the researchers that the markings might not be labels at all. They might be part of a ritual or secret message. The statues closest to the emperor's tomb had the most complex marks, which made people believe they had the strongest spiritual purpose. As the AI kept working, it started to understand parts of the messages. What it found was disturbing. The messages were not just simple labels or names. They talked about pain, suffering, and control. Some of the phrases that were understood clearly said things like, "Constructed by suffering. He took my name and burned it in stone. Here lies death and those who served it. I worked until my hands broke. Let him walk over me forever." These messages suggested that the workers who made the Terracotta Army might have hidden their pain and sadness in the statues. Maybe these were cries for help, or maybe they were part of some old ritual or tradition. No one knows for sure. When we look at everything together, it gives us a very different idea about the Terracotta Army. It may not just be a grand work of art made to honor the emperor. It could also be a grave for the people who built it. Maybe their spirits were sealed inside. It might be a giant spiritual structure meant to protect or curse. These strange marks and their dark meanings are making experts rethink what they thought they knew. As tools and technology get better, there is a good chance that more marks will be found and understood. And when that happens, we might learn even more unsettling truths about one of the most mysterious projects in ancient history. What do you think about the mystery of the Terracotta Army? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.